So Rosa Parks would have been 106 years old today, but her life and legacy have inspired generations of African-American women. Here to share her thoughts on Rosa Parks and her meaning for black women today is Janice Mathis of the National Council of Negro Women. Hello there, Janice.
Hello, Dr. Avis. Thank you for having me today.
I'm so glad to have you here, especially on this special day.
Absolutely. I never met Rosa Parks, but she inspired me like she did generations of other women and men. If you go back to 1957, that was a difficult time in the United States, especially in places like Alabama. You can tell the way I talk that I'm from down there, from South Carolina. And Brown versus Board of Education was decided in 1954. I was fully 12 years old, having been born in 1954, before I entered a school that was not segregated based on race. That was how long and how hard the South fought to resist Brown and the efforts at integration. Rosa Parks was one of those sheroes who just refused to take no for an answer. One day she said, "I'm not getting up from my seat." And the guy asked a bus driver in Montgomery, asked her, "Why won't you get up?" She said, "I don't think I should have to." With that very simple statement, she sparked a movement that was one of the most profound and important and successful movements for freedom in the history of this country and probably the world. They stayed off those buses for 380 days. Try to get us to do something for 3 days, right? But they stayed off those, and they say that E.D. Nixon and Martin Luther King carefully and cautiously rode around the town looking to see would people really boycott the buses. They didn't have any way of knowing. King was very young, very new in Montgomery. That morning on December 5th, they elected him president of the Montgomery Improvement Association and marched him right into history. So we've got a lot to be thankful for. Now, the end of the story, of course, they won in court. Montgomery had to integrate the buses, but she was run out of town. She lost her job as a seamstress in a local department store. The family moved to Detroit, where our good friend John Conyers gave her a job. That was the kind of caring that those folk had to have for each other, which is another lesson for us today. Would we care enough about somebody, Colin Kaepernick, who lost his job protesting for all of us? Would we care enough to pool our money and make sure he had income and revenue? Those are the kinds of questions that Rosa Parks raises for us today. So I'm delighted to be here. We're strong people. If the enemies of freedom knew who we really were, they'd leave us alone because we always win. So to Rosa Parks, thank you for what you did and how you dedicated your life to helping all of us be freer.
Absolutely. So what do you think we can really learn today as black women and black people about persevering even in difficult times from her life?
I think that, first of all, that there was a certain kind of unity. Now, from a tactical, you're an organizational, especially I know how you organize things. It was simple. We went all over the place. It was integrate the buses now. In order for a movement to be successful, it needs to have a certain kind of simplicity so everybody can get it.
Right.
And then there was this sort of unified fervor. You knew who the target was. The other thing, the lesson that we draw from it is that these systems of oppression don't stop coming just because we're in 2019. That there was de facto segregation. The bus driver said, "Get up," and I'm gonna move the sign back and expand the white section and just sort of arbitrarily truncate the black section because I feel like it. That's de facto. Right. But it was backed up by de jure, the legal segregation, and she was charged with and convicted of violating the Montgomery City Ordinance. What does that amount? Today, Marsha Fudge was in Texas taking testimony about the restoration of the Voting Rights Act. So we have to fight the systems of oppression that are backed up by law and those that are backed up by custom.
So, brothers, what do you think about, Rosa Parks? What sort of influence has her just bravery made on your life?
It's amazing. I mean, and it's ironic in a kind of an odd way that today is National Transportation Day, Public Transportation Day, and public transportation, like beyond just a heavily integrated city, is also about movement and economic freedom and getting people to and from jobs.
Right.
We have a real problem here in the United States recently with the fact that public transit is losing ground to services like Uber and so forth. And a lot of people who depend on it don't have cell phones, don't have credit cards, and they need buses to get around.
Right.
But services are contracting at the same time that the need is growing among a certain segment of population. So I think it's really ironic and interesting and inspirational in a way that Rosa Parks Day and her birthday occurs on the same time we're talking about the need for more expansive and more accessible public transportation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's probably the person here that's had the greatest compounded effect of Rosa Parks' action. It's nothing less of inspirational. You know, as our good friend Janice said, you know, the fights and struggles don't go away. They just evolve and mutate and, you know, reappear themselves in different ways. And, you know, look, it's up to my generation to keep that fight going forward.
Absolutely.
Well, we've been talking about a lot of this stuff today on this
Yeah.
on this hour. A lot of the fights that have been won but not over.
Yeah.
I mean, the black farmers, the racial sensitivity of a sitting U.S. governor.
Yes.
You know, so it also is reminiscent. It's not that long ago. I mean, we're talking about within our lifetime, certainly within my lifetime. My parents graduated from a segregated high school. My parents, and you know, there was not that long before we, as their heirs, were, you know, when I was born, they couldn't vote.
Right.
In certain states. So it is inspirational, and it is a call to action for the fact that we still have a lot of work that's not done and a lot of fights that we don't even know are around the corner yet.
Absolutely. Michael.
A second plug for my mom. My mom used to work at the National Council of Negro Women with Dorothy Heights.
Right, she did.
But I think most of us, the first papers we wrote in school were either Martin Luther King Jr. or Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
And I certainly wrote my share of Rosa Parks papers, and you know, it's just you just take so much pride in it. And don't say anything bad about Rosa Parks.
That's right.
You don't hear anybody.
Fight starts.
Absolutely.
Very real hands.
Absolutely. A shero and a pioneer.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, Rosa Parks.
You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.